Hey everybody, it's Peter from the Kia Hyundai channel. Welcome to our live video series. Today we're going to take a look at the 2022 Hyundai Sonata Preferred. Preferred is kind of the entry-level Sonata, and I titled this video as this is an alternative to the Elantra, and it's not going to be an alternative for everybody, but I do think that some people are going to be pretty impressed with this car, even if it's kind of got styling that maybe goes under the radar. I mean, some people think they kind of overstyled it. Some people think they understyled it. I do think that sedans, and I think the sales numbers will prove it, sedans, mid-size sedans are kind of falling off the map because people like crossovers, but this might be a perfect car for a lot of you, including Elantra shoppers. So today we're going to talk about that. We'll give you a full walk-around review of the car, and we're going to spend about 30 minutes doing that. So that seems like a long time. We're going to go really in-depth, show you everything you need to know about this car, and help you make an accurate decision. And what you can do is you can grab yourself a snack and a beverage. We'll have some fun. So if you're not live with us, feel free to skip ahead to the 3-minute mark of the video if you want. And if you want to figure out how to join us live, I'll show you how to do that right now. And here we go. If you want to join us live, you go exactly at 2 o'clock Eastern time to our YouTube page, which looks like this. And if you refresh the page exactly at 2 o'clock, that standard video that was here is replaced by our live video. You can click into that. You're going to have to watch an ad. When you watch that ad, I am going to quickly run our own ad. If you are in Ontario and you're looking to buy a car, all you have to do is reach out to me. There'll be a link in the description as soon as this video is done, and you can click that link. You can reach out to me. I will connect you with our sales team in Brantford Hyundai, Owen Sound Hyundai, and Brantford Kia, where we film here. So we have our regulars jumping on saying don't forget the keys, and that's a good point. I already did forget the keys, so we'll go do that in a second. And that's our ad. So real quick, let's talk about a couple things. We talked about production delays yesterday. Oh, one of the questions I was asked consistently about the Ioniq 5 the other day, you guys wanted to know how small the winter tire size could go. And I had that confirmed. You can go down to a 17-inch rim. Or sorry, I think it's 18-inch rim. Yes, because it's 19. So you can go down to 18-inch rim there, and you can downsize 1 extra inch. I'll have to double check my stats there because I had it sent to me and I now realized I forgot. But you can go down at least 1 inch from the 19s, which is good to know. And you can even do that on a steel wheel. So that's just a question that we were looking for an answer for that we have. What else we got going on? I'm still waiting for my truckload of cars from Kia. So Kia, if you're watching, there was a truckload of cars. I was hoping to have it Monday. I know it snowed. Snow's gone. Let's see if we can get those cars here. Gotta nudge them a little bit because I want some more cars to video from the Kia side, which we will have a Kia video tomorrow. And I think we'll just leave it there. So we'll start this video in just a couple seconds here. If you're a regular with us, I don't expect this video to have as much views as something like the Ioniq 5 the other day. So do me a favor, hit the like button for me. Let's see if we can get to a bunch of likes. And if you're not a regular with us, we'll try to earn your like as we go through. All right, 3 minutes in, here we go. All right, Hyundai Elantra, boy, having fun here. Sonata, this is the Hyundai Sonata. We're gonna take a close look at this. One of my regulars reminded me to get the keys, and I didn't do that yet. So let's just jump in and grab those keys for a second because we'll start with them. Little sneak peek of the interior there. So again, where is this in the lineup? This is the entry-level Sonata. There is a Sonata for literally everyone. This is sort of an entry level. I like to think of it as sort of an Elantra alternative. We'll talk about that. There might be a lot of reasons you want this car more than just as an Elantra alternative, but you can also get this car in a hybrid. You can get this car in a sport version, a luxury version, the N-Line model, which is, closing in on Kia Stinger territory. Not quite, but everything from sort of the normal models, simple models. You can get panoramic sunroofs in here. You can get a solar panel on the roof on the hybrids. So a lot of options to get in this car. But this one's just like a really good value of all of our popular features together in one car, and I think it makes a lot of sense. So let's just talk really quickly about the popular features. Here is our keyless entry remote. No key, you don't start with a key fob or anything like that, or a key, you just have a key fob. So lock, unlock, pop the trunk, hold that for the alarm, and it has a remote start button, which a lot of you are really looking for this, especially a day like today where it's like, I don't know, it feels like it's minus a million outside. But the remote start right there on the key fob, and of course, you never have to take that out of your pocket. You can just put it in your pocket and forget about it, which is what I'm gonna do in this video. Styling-wise, you have various different size wheels and tires on the Sonata, and this is the smallest wheel and tire package you can get, and it is a 215/55 R17, so 17-inch rims, a little bit of a dark color and a bright color in there. I think they're tasteful. I don't think it's fancy or anything else like that. I think this car looks very average mainstream family sedan, but I will say when you're driving it, it corners very flat. It's actually much more engaging to drive than you would think, even though it's not the sport model or that N-Line model. And I think that's something to keep in mind here. All right, we're gonna look at the outside in a second, but let's just jump right into the inside first. So over here, push button on the door handle. That means if you have the key fob in your pocket like I do, single tap unlocks just the driver's door, a double tap unlocks all the doors, and you can set it up to do a single tap for just the, or for all the doors, excuse me. Inside, you've got a cloth seats, which I think is fine, but you have all the power controls here. Interestingly with this handle never reminded me of anything, but when I had the Ioniq 5 here, this is a nice broad, sort of easy to grab handle. The Ioniq 5 is sort of reminiscent of that to grab it. And I didn't think that when I saw the Ioniq 5, but I do think it now that I've seen it. I didn't think the Ioniq 5 was like the Sonata, but now I think the Sonata is like the Ioniq 5. So nice big grab handle to shut the door, which I don't think means anything to anybody, but the styling is nice, it's clean, it's large, it's easy to grab. And again, the other thing, even though it's an entry-level type trim, everything is soft touch. Everything you touch, like the touch points on the car, are nice and soft touch. So armrests on both sides, that's just a nice feature. All right, turning the car to the on position with that push button start. We haven't started it because we are indoors, so we're just gonna turn to the on position. The warning lights will stay on for a second as we do that. And left side tach, right side speedometer, and in the center is a multi-information display. It is not our prettiest display. Let's just be full honest. There's a full color display that you can get in here that's a lot prettier, but this has a lot, if not all of that functionality. So ignore fuel efficiency numbers. I had this car idling for a little bit, use that remote start there. But you've got a driver attention warning level, you've got the lane keep and lane follow, which we'll talk about in a second here. Temperature down here, which is currently in Fahrenheit. You can set that for Celsius, obviously. And all sorts of driver settings. We can go through that some other time. Lots of stuff there. And then you've got, what I like here is having your speed limit up, or you can do tire pressure monitors, which is nice as well. Now the tire pressure monitors are good because you can check them at any time when you're driving. It'll tell you the exact PSI per tire, but you can also have a warning light or a system come up if you have a tire that runs low. And a lot of flats and a lot of other things are caused by tires that eventually get low, because when it gets low and you have that sort of like, you know, that fat spot that you can see on a low tire, what that sidewall does is every time the tire goes around is the sidewall sort of squishes and opens and squishes and opens. And if you've ever taken a piece of rubber, like even an eraser, and bent it and opened, bent it and put it back, bent it and put it back, that's why they break. So those tire pressure monitors can really prevent many different flat conditions, as well as just knowing that they're low right up from the bat. So having that in a relatively entry-level midsize sedan is a pretty good feature to have. And like I said, while it's not fancy, it gives you the function you need. Speaking of not fancy, this actually used to be fancy. This would have been a top level screen just a couple years ago. Now it's the bottom level screen. However, this 8-inch screen does offer a feature that even the top end vehicles don't have, and I'm including the Genesis line here. You have wireless Android Auto and wireless Apple CarPlay. So what does that mean? So if you get this car, because let's say you're travel for business or that kind of thing, you jump in your car, you jump out of your car all the time. If your phone is hooked up and you're getting those text messages, or maybe you're a real estate agent, you're getting things coming through, you don't have to worry about finding your cord, plugging it in. If you also want to, access some of those features like the your texting or other stuff and see some information up there, you can do that. You also have navigation that can be brought up through your cell phone into your car. So Google Maps, Apple Maps, Waze, that kind of thing. All of that can be done wirelessly on these 8-inch display screens, and that's something that's nice to have. Take a look over here and you see our stereo system. It is an HD radio as well. So it's actually labeled in two ways, one over here, and of course you can see that over there. So AM, FM, but you do have the HD radio function. So a lot of stations have a high definition, sort of a more CD quality sound to them, and you can just jump into those HD radio stations in here, and it's just, again, a nice thing. And I will say, although this is not like a Harman Kardon or Bose audio system, it is very much a good bass system. Now, I don't say bass as in like tons of bass. It's a good entry-level system here in this car, because these larger vehicles just have better sound than some of our entry-level vehicles. So although it's an entry-level Sonata, it's not an entry-level car. Down here, nice little thin vents. Hyundai is doing these thin vents more and more, and everybody's concerned that they don't move enough air. I can promise you that they do, and they're not noisy in doing it. How do they do that without making the noise? I don't know. It's not super loud. Well, we can show it on here, but that's full blast, and it's just, yeah, it's hard to tell you that that's not very loud in there. So down here, speaking of features we like and features we don't, it is a manual climate control system. Some people like automatic. You can get that in a car like this, but it's not on this exact trim level. I'm taking off shipping plastic, so if we see some plastic like that around this car, we'll do that. But manual system works very well. and it's simple. Everybody sort of understands it. Where do you want the air? How cold or how hot? And how fast do you want the fan speed to go? The dials and stuff feel good. People like dials and knobs. That's good. You also have my favorite feature, rump roasters, and you have heated steering wheel as well. The heated steering wheel is really important because the heated steering wheel is so good, you immediately take off your gloves because the heated steering wheel is just way more comfortable. So you're not going to be wearing gloves in this car, which is handy in a car with a touchscreen. So heated steering wheel, heated seats. We're going to leave the heated seat on just because I like to be comfortable. Down here, you have a nice little spot. There is a lot of space down here. Now, you do have push-button gears, which a lot of people love to hate. I used to be that person until I realized that it takes you about a couple days to adjust to having it. It's very logical. It's laid out exactly like you would have it in your traditional stick shifter car or automatic with a column shifter or you know what I mean, the shifter thing. But down here, it creates extra space, and that's really nice to have for putting your phone down here or into a larger spot. If you want to charge your phone or go with a wired connection for Android Auto and Apple CarPlay, you can do that through the USB port. There's another charging USB and a 12-volt port there as well. Does not have wireless charging on this particular car. Down here, you do have good sized cup holders, a space to put your phone if you want to put one upright, or if you have two people in the car, you can put one upright in here, something in there, which works well as well. My little wallet fits in there as well, which is nice. Down here, you have your auto hold, which is your parking brake type feature. On the Sonata, the parking brake is actually over here. So just think of it like where we used to have sort of our foot brake parking brake. It's down here. I don't know why they do that, but that is what they do. Whoops, camera's giving out on me. Come on, camera, you can do it. Oh boy, there we go. And then down here we have the drive modes as well. Drive modes we'll try to show you in the dash just really quickly. You have the sport mode, the custom mode, the smart mode, and the normal mode. So if we go to the custom mode and select that, what we'll do is we'll change some of the drive modes here. I think we can do it on this car over here. Let's go to, maybe not. We'll have to find out. I think we may have to do it there. There we go, drive mode, custom. So if we go to the custom drive mode, what we can do is change the way the vehicle operates to customize it. So you can, for instance, have the powertrain in a sport mode, but have your steering mode in the normal mode. So it's just a very minor custom drive mode, but a lot of people like to have maybe sportier steering with a normal drive mode that doesn't, waste fuel. That's how I would set up my custom mode, and I think that's kind of nicer. It just allows you to, again, take away from the feeling of this, boring sedan and allow it to have more of an engaging feel to it. And that's why I really quite like it. You can customize those things and have that little bit more sporty feel to it. And it really is kind of a sportier car than it looks like. It's not going to say it's a full sports car or anything. I should point out it's a 2.5 liter 4-cylinder engine. So that is the engine they use in a number of different vehicles. They use it in the base Tucson. They use it in on the Kia lineup, they use it in the Sorento, something like that. You'll see it in the Santa Cruz. In the Santa Cruz, that engine and the engine transmission combination here, it's an 8-speed transmission. In that Santa Cruz combination, it tows 3,500 pounds. This car is not rated to tow, but the idea is it's plenty of power. You've got all the power that you would need. All right, I'm just realizing something else. Remember when I said there's some shipping plastic? This is sort of a chrome trim, but it's got some white plastic on it. So if that's looking white to you, that won't be white in person. And we'll just leave it down like that. All right, let's show you the steering wheel here, and then we'll jump out of the car. Steering wheel has some other really nice features. You have not just cruise control, but smart cruise control. So what that does is it allows the car to see vehicles in front of you. You set the cruise at 100 kilometers an hour. Someone cuts out in front of you going 90, your car will automatically slow down. Keep its distance, and then when they clear the way or when you go past them, you can go right by them. So that's a super nice feature to have. I like using this in stop and go traffic, which a lot of people would never think to use cruise control for that. But as soon as you hit stop and go traffic, again, it can see the vehicles in front of you. It's capable of stopping and accelerating. And I find that for me, again, you're responsible for your car. You're responsible for everything, but it essentially hits the gas and the brakes for you and takes all the stress out of stop and go driving. So just a really nice place to be, commuter car. And again, when we talk about an Elantra replacement, a little more space. If you're sitting there in traffic all the time, the 2.5 liter 4-cylinder gets great fuel efficiency. We'll show you that in a second here on the window sticker, but it also gives you a little more space. And then that smart cruise control allows it to kind of adapt in traffic. It works really well. You also have lane keep and lane follow assist. What that means is the car is capable of steering itself to keep it centered in the lane. You're obviously responsible for where it goes, but again, it just takes the stress out of driving. You put your hand on the wheel and it will just keep you centered in a lane when there's good lane markers, or even when there's not sometimes. There's a number of features it can use. Speaking of safety, let's just run through a couple more things. You've got things like the blind spot detection here, which also gives you rear cross traffic alerts, so you can see that stuff. The lane keep, lane follow has a camera looking forward, and then of course the Smart Cruise Control has a radar looking forward. Those two features, the camera and the radar, combine to give you some safety features like forward collision avoidance. So when it just has a camera, it can only see certain things. If it has a radar, it can see other things. The camera and the radar together allow you to have the most comprehensive list of forward collision avoidance systems. In other words, if something stops in front of you, the car is capable of seeing that and stopping for you as well. Don't test that. I always say test that like you test your airbags. Don't do it. But it just gives this car very safe, very confident feel, and that's, I think, what you want at this price point. All right, so here's what's going to go on. We are at 49 people. Let's call it 50 people on. Let's see if we can get to 50 likes today. We're only at 31. We can get to 50. So let's try to do that. I'm going to go take your questions, see if there's anything right there. And if not, we're going to continue to move to the rear seat, the trunk space. We'll talk a little bit more about the outside of the car. And we'll come back inside if we need to. If you have questions about that, we'll answer those questions as well. So let's jump out for a second. As we do that, I will... Oh, I'm just going to have to show you me, I guess. All right, so let's just keep it here. We'll go through. I do want to show you my Instagram. I did make a mistake today. I usually post on Instagram first thing in the morning. I got busy this morning just salting the lot here, and I was talking to a couple people, and I forgot to post on Instagram. So I do apologize for that, but you can follow me there. Every single morning I will post, other than today, I will post a little story to tell you what we're doing. If you have questions, you can always reach out that way, and that works as well. Okay. All right, here we go. Let me just see if there's any questions. We're going to start at the bottom here. Can you do a video on the collision safety parameters, speed you're going, distance? Yeah, I can. So the collision safety stuff does vary a little bit per vehicle. The one thing I will say about collision avoidance stuff, the very first car we had with autonomous emergency braking, or the ability to forward safety, to have some stuff that stops for you, there are scenarios where even when you meet the parameters, so you're going the right speed and you're seeing the right things, sometimes the vehicle will sense that, hey, you're in control, it's not going to take over. So there are scenarios where the forward collision system senses, hey, you're controlling, I'm not going to take over control if I feel like you're in control. If it senses that you're not paying attention, those kind of things, then it can activate things, it'll warn you, and then emergency brake and that kind of thing. But something like the autonomous emergency braking, again, I say don't test it, because sometimes it'll just sense you're in control and be like, okay, I'm going to let this driver do its thing. But also, it waits to the very, very, very last second and applies a heavy braking. And there are various levels of braking you can do based on the speed you're going. It's designed to hopefully avoid the collision, but at the very least minimize the collision. So you don't want to start testing this stuff and then find out you hit a car and had a minor collision where you walk away. It's designed to keep you safe. But sometimes those a video on those safety things is a little tougher because it can vary per car. And I want to be a little careful about saying this is how it works and having somebody say, well, you said in the video it does this. So safety videos are tougher to do when you say this is how it works, because there's so many variables and no system is perfect. It doesn't always see everything. If the windshield's dirty, if there's slush on the radar plate, those can be different situations as well. All right. Drive myself does -30 with gloves and no heated wheel. Doesn't bother me that much. Yes, that's true. So if you don't have a heated steering wheel, no big deal. But if you do have the heated steering wheel, people always ask me, well, those screens don't work if you use gloves, right? And I said, yeah, but you have a heated steering wheel. And almost nobody I know with a heated steering wheel drives with gloves on. They immediately take off the gloves because the steering wheel feels nicer. So that was my point there. When are we getting Rump Roaster Sounds of Nature and Teddy merch? Yeah, we should do that. Maybe we'll do something like that, some fun stuff. Maybe we'll do it this year. All right. Mikey heated steering wheel is the same, very toasty that I have to turn it off after a little while. Yeah, those of us with heated steering wheels, we all turn them off because they work so well. Okay. I had a Sonata as a loaner vehicle when my Kia was in the shop. Oh no, your Kia got hit by a Jeep? Oh, that's one of our regulars. I'm sorry about that. It would be nice if the TPMS showed pressure when you start the vehicles. Yeah, it would be nice, but our system is both relatively inexpensive, which is important because when they fail on some of these other cars, it can be extremely expensive. So our system is both relatively inexpensive and fairly accurate. Those are two things that are both individually very difficult to find. So it's a compromise for sure. You can have systems that can test that pressure while it's cold tire pressure before they start rolling, but then they can be expensive and they can be less accurate. So having a system, and if you switch tires and wheels, like when you do a tire rotation, they have to be recalibrated. Right now, the car sort of figures it out on its own. So there's a lot of benefits to having the system we have. The only drawback is that the wheels have to have been rotated for a little while to see the TPMS sensors. While I hear what you're saying, given the limitations they're working within, I do think we have a good system and probably one of the better systems for that. All right, is the EV6 going to be coming soon? It's an off-topic question. I don't know. hopefully March-ish, maybe, but I don't know. There's a lot I don't know about that EV6, so I'm trying to figure that out. You guys are saying, hope they're not stuck in the snow if you're talking about my cars. Yeah, I know. I'm hoping they're not too. Okay. Why should I get a Sonata over a Kia K5? Great question. One, you could probably drive off the lot with a Sonata today. A K5 is going to have to be something ordered. I think this one actually might be available for sale. It's hard to tell right now because Hyundai right now, they have a number of vehicles which of course are test drive only, like most dealerships. But a Sonata is probably going to be a little bit more readily available than a K5. Another reason is you may like the styling. Another reason is you may like the mix of features. Another reason is the K5 in Canada comes in an LX that I've never seen, an EX, a GT line, and a GT. There's 4 of them. This one you can get in a hybrid. This one you can get in an N line, which is like the GT. You can get in a Sport, which is kind of like the GT line, but a little bit different. So the mix of options in these cars, although they share a platform, is different. The one benefit of the K5 is you can get them in all-wheel drive, but some of those trim levels you can only get in all-wheel drive, and some people don't want to have to pay for the extra all-wheel drive system, and you can get the front-wheel drive. So why would you get one over? Styling and mix of features is really the short answer of why you might get this over the Kia K5. I like the K5. I like that it has all-wheel drive. I wish the Sonata had it. That being said, the last time I've seen a K5 new has been a while. They are limited production right now, whereas the Sonata you can get a little bit more readily. So let's go in the rear seat right now, and then we'll check the trunk, and then we're going to look at some lighting and some other features here. So rear seat. Remember when I said this is an Elantra replacement? That seat's a little bit further back than I would need it, just because I sometimes have it a little further back to film, and I didn't adjust it up right now. But as an Elantra replacement, what's the one thing we talk about with the Elantra? Ooh, it's got class-leading legroom, class-leading, that kind of thing. So here you've got basically same idea. You've got good headroom. You've got really big, comfortable seats. Sometimes the rear seats aren't very big, but you can see they come almost out to my knees here. I'm comfortable. I've got good foot space. I've got a lot of space between myself and the seat in front of me, even though the seat in front of me is further back than I need. So a sedan just gives you more space. It's just kind of a nice place to be. The other thing that's nice is back here. Again, even in the back here, nice soft touch things. Sometimes you have a lot of these economy cars have a hard plastic there. So you move up in the trims, and the front sometimes has soft plastic. The rear doesn't have as much. And here you have a very nice place. So let's just flip around here. You do not have the plastic back seats. It's to me, that's a knock against them because they're such easy to clean seats, and most of our cars have that. However, some people like the cloth as well, and you have cloth here, and then you have the little pocket down here as well. The pocket is only on the passenger side. Down here you have a single USB port in there as well. And let's flip it around here and see if I can show you the seats behind me right over here. You do have a nice little stripe down the seats, which I think looks sharp. Very hard to film and make it look nice, but there is a little bit of style back here. It's not purely an afterthought. That's just the class of the car, right? You're going to step up a little bit into a little bit larger car. You're going to have your guests feel a little bit more comfortable, and it just has a little bit more style in this vehicle. All right, let's jump out for a second here. And as we jump, we're going to flip the camera around, and we're going to go to the key fob just because I want to show you that you can use the key fob to open your trunk. So we're going to hold this down like that because it says hold right there. We'll hold it down. And there goes the trunk. Pops all the way up, and you do have split folding rear seats, so it's a 60-40 split there, and left side's the 40, then there's the 60, and you have a massive trunk. So again, if you're thinking economy car, this is going to give you a much larger trunk, and we're going to show you how big right now with my friend, the teddy bear. All right, teddy bear is my trunk measurement tool. Sedans have a big advantage over a lot of crossovers in that they have a very long floor. So while you can't fit, a new dishwasher in here from the Home Depot or the Lowe's store, you can fit a lot of teddy bears in here and down here with a lot of space. So that's pretty good space down there. I'm gonna just glance under the floor here for a second. There's the little handle, and you can see you do have a spare tire. There is actually room down there to pack things around if you wanted to take, maybe some detailing rags or something else, gym shorts, gym shoes. You can put stuff down there. And some people forget that you can still use that space. There's no law against using that space. And in fact, it's a pretty useful space to put things that maybe you don't need every day or something that you just want out of the way. So you can put stuff down there. There is room. And of course, that spare tire is nice to have. All right. We're going to go and turn the lights on in this car because you have upgraded lighting, even though it's sort of an entry-level type vehicle for this segment or for this trim line. Oh, doesn't like me because I didn't get in far enough with the key. There we go. Headlights are on. We're going to turn the left side signal on. So, left side signal, you've got the nice signal light in the mirror there, which is sort of standard stuff. You've got a little triangular marker light there. And let's just show you on this side first. So those of you that can't see, it's hard to film on camera. This is a little chrome piece here. This also looks like a chrome piece, but it sort of gradually fades, and when you turn those lights on, it is a fairly bright LED light. So it has a nice little signature of a daytime running light down there. When you have the headlights off, that'll be a nice daytime running light. And you have LED headlights, which of course you can see, very bright lights. The flickering there just happens the way the light interacts with the camera. You have a nice looking grille here. You've got the chrome across. This is that radar plate that sort of blends into the dash. You almost can't see it, or into the grille, excuse me, you almost can't see it. That's that radar plate for the forward collision avoidance, for the smart cruise control. And then they do that more high-end type thing. This is way more amber than it's filming right now, but that is your signal light. So it goes from the bright amber to the soft white. And again, the camera is having trouble adapting to the color. If it was just a steady amber, I think it would adapt a little bit better. But that is a nice bright amber light, and it just gives it a little more high-end look, along with the chrome here, a little bit of piano black in there. It just looks classy. And it doesn't look like you bought the economy car. It looks like you are sort of established in life and you have your nice things. And sometimes people are going for that image, and I think the overall front of the car does that. The back of the car, kind of the same thing. I really like the way they sort of design a few little aerodynamic details in here just to keep the air flowing smoothly, that sharp cutoff with the spoiler. But you also end up with a full LED light package back here, which you can see kind of wraps around here. You have signal light and brake light in there, which we can show you right over here. The brake light, signal light is not LED, but the overall light signature is an LED, and it looks really sharp. And at night, it has this really cool kind of, just what is that kind of look, and makes it look pretty sporty. So again, nice trim down here. Just overall, a fairly unique look. Looks really nice at night. And again, when you're thinking about an Elantra replacement, if you're going up, maybe you're a salesperson that travels around to different businesses or something like that, this car, tells us that you've done well for yourself, whereas sometimes an economy car tells us that you're just getting started, right? So if you're looking for that, and again, when we're talking about some of these Elantra comparisons, let's check out the MSRP here. MSRP, $27,749, so just a step above some Elantras, but a step below some other ones. And fuel efficiency we talked about earlier, 8.8 on the highway, 8.8 in the city, 6.4 on the highway. That was traditional economy car territory not too long ago. Of course, the new Elantra exceeds that, and there are, of course, hybrids that can get better than that as well, including a hybrid in the Sonata. But you really end up with a car with, just good, solid, reliable stuff. You've got the 2.5 liter, regular 8-speed automatic transmission, so it's a strong engine for this. It's plenty of power. It's not the most powerful sports car engine, but it's very good. And it's an overall nice blend of package in this vehicle. So that is essentially my review. What I want to do is just make sure I take your questions. If you have on or off topic questions, I'll do my best to answer them all right now, and then we'll wrap this one up. All right, the new Hyundai Sonata looks fancy and sporty. Yeah, so that's the thing. Some people love the styling, some people don't. And I'm never one to judge styling. I don't do fashion, so they dress me themselves here pretty much. So I always like when people tell me they like stuff or they don't like stuff. What does radar cruise control? So what is radar cruise control? Basically, it uses the radar plate to see vehicles in front of you and allows you to adapt. So it can, instead of setting the cruise control at 100 kilometers an hour and holding the car there no matter what, you can set the cruise control at 100 kilometers an hour, and if someone comes in front of you, it can give space and they clear away, it'll continue to accelerate more. Are we getting a 2022 Forte 5? Yes, we are. I have seen one, but I have not been able to film one yet. So when it comes in here for me to film, we'll do that as well. It looks nice, and so we'll have that as well. Would rear LED signals be that expensive for Hyundai to put on all? It's interesting because it seems like, I think everything but the Stinger, almost everything does not, some of the Tellurides, but Kia and Hyundai lineup, almost everything does not have LED signals. And I don't know if they do that for resistance, to create some extra resistance in the line. Certainly it could be done, but it is interesting because there are a number of cars, including my Santa Cruz, where I feel like, why not just go full LED now? And they have not done that, and I'm not sure why. LED brake lights are fairly common on a lot of our cars, especially in the higher trims, but a lot of the signal lights every now and then they leave out. I don't know why, so it's a good point. How does the Hyundai pre-order system work? Is it really a build to order, or am I just waiting for the next application that matches my order from the distributor? It depends. So when I ordered my Santa Cruz, I ordered it in white. I wanted the ultimate package, which is the luxury, or the luxury, or what do you call it? The limited package in the States, essentially. So I ordered that, they built it because that's what I wanted. There are many occasions where they're going to build certain cars and we try to match up. So there are times where we say, if you have a couple color options, you know, they're going to build, let's say 15 or 20 of these cars and they put them out into the allocation. At this point, Canada is just trying to get as many cars as they possibly can. So if you wanted this car in white or this silver color that it's in, I can't remember the exact name of this color. If you had both options, whichever one comes first, you would have that option of taking it first if you have color options and you're able to switch. So sometimes it can be a bit of a build to order system. Sometimes, essentially what they do is they build enough that you'll have, again, we don't have a ton of options, right? Like if you go to a Ford dealer, you get your package and then you add on a third of the car in individual packages. That's not the way Kia or Hyundai do their things. They have a trim line and that's kind of the way it is. There's very few option packages. Hyundai has, sometimes you add one option package on. So they're gonna build those packages and that's how they do things. So in that sense, it's built to order, but like I said, there's not 35, a third of the car is not individually options, so that's why they don't have to custom build anything like that. What are all the colors in the Sonata? You'll have to just check the website. I don't have them memorized right now. That's one thing I stay away from because I can't remember how to say every color line, but it is on the website to show them. So there we go. I think that's good enough. Hyundai Sonata Limited, do I have a premium audio system? Again, just double check the website. On the Limited in particular, I'll tell you what I do honestly here, guys, is I spend less time focusing on what is in every trim line and more time focusing on what every specific feature does. So that allows me to, in the real world outside of this video world that we've created, it allows me to pass on to the sales guys, and the sales guys are really good at saying, okay, you want the premium auto system, here's the trim line that it's in. It's just more efficient for me to learn the specifics of the systems than to remember what's in what trim on each car and everything else. I let the sales team deal with that as they deal with you guys. And that's kind of how I do my thing. All right, I think we're gonna leave it there. Let me just double check here. I read they only build Canadian cars 1 week a month in Alabama. Oh, I don't know if that's true. There's a lot of things online where people just say stuff like that. I don't know if it's that simple. So right now, let's be honest, inventory is tough. Sonatas are probably easier to get than many, many, many things. And that's why it may be a good option for you. So, all right, we're going to leave it there, guys. We hit 65 likes. I do appreciate it. Take one more look at the car here. This is the Hyundai Sonata. I believe this one may be available. Like I said, these are a little bit more available than many of our other cars. Tomorrow, I really don't know what I'm going to do because I was hoping to have a truck full of cars. And as of now, hasn't showed up. So if anybody from Kia is watching, there's 7 vehicles we've asked to have released for us. It'd be really cool if we could get those. Thanks. I know you guys are working hard. You're doing your best. But yeah, if someone from Kia head office is watching this, pull some strings. All right. Thanks, everybody. We'll do our best tomorrow, and we'll see you again. You can find us on Instagram tomorrow morning. We'll let you know what we're doing. We will definitely have a Kia, and we'll talk to you again tomorrow. Thanks, everybody. We'll see you.